for the student studying this, what does that look like? Where do they end up in as a graduate and expert, you could say, in design experiences? What does that lead them to professionally?
Yeah.
I imagine a lot.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it really does. I'll speak from the perspective of the program that I'm part of at BYU, which is called Experience Design and Management. So we focus our core curriculum, and this is at the undergraduate level, on competencies that are applicable in any type of experience context, right? So we use a lot of design thinking and experience mapping and psychological and social psychological theories about how people process experiences. So give people a toolbox where they say, hey, I feel pretty competent in designing experiences to produce intentional outcomes for whoever the participant customer.
These were the courses that.
Yeah, so this is at the core
nice.
course level. So we try to say here's toolkits of how you design experiences. And then we focus on two sort of clusters of career paths. So we have experience industries, right? So hospitality, tourism, things that are, leisure, events, sports, and entertainment, where the economic offering of the organization is the experience, right? So we have a chunk of our students go there, and we have electives in those different areas. And then we have a cluster around experience management. These are customer experience, employee experience, patient experience, product management, thinking. So organizations don't provide these organizations don't provide experiences as their main economic offering, but any organization, regardless of what they do, are providing experiences externally to customers and internally to employees.
To their employees, yeah.
And the degree they do that intentionally is often a key economic competitive advantage, right? And so then we have electives in those different areas for students to say, okay, I can go into an organization and think about how they can do a better job of providing experiences to their employees, right? Because we know it's not just about what am I getting paid and what are my benefits. That's not what connects an employee to an organization. It's not what motivates them to be engaged, right? It's sort of the holistic employee experience. And organizations are beginning to think more and more about, how do we engage our employees? How do we build brand loyalty among our customers?
What we just had today at the Academy of Leisure Events was really, it seems like an example of what they're doing to bring employees together and see how they're doing and get them engaged.
Mm-hmm. And the last on that, I'll just follow so are there job titles? If I'm looking for a job, is there associate dream or is design experience associate for companies or something? Are those extra job titles, or is that something the vice president of HR does or something like that?
That's a great question. And what we've seen, so the program that I'm part of, we launched about 5 years ago. And in that time, we've seen a pretty dramatic increase in specific jobs related to experience design. Now, companies are still figuring out titles. We've seen a lot more companies, at least in the U.S., who have hired chief experience officers.
I like that title.
Who are recognizing that it doesn't just mean changing customer service to customer experience and check the box, it's done. It's recognizing that, when a customer interacts with our organization, they are interacting with, their journey takes them across multiple divisions of an organization. And if all divisions aren't committed to providing great experiences, then the customer experience is good in some places. It's good in the store, but bad on the website, and good on the app, but bad when they call in, So it's thinking about how does an organization sort of focus, and that chief experience officer is in charge of, like, what does the journey look across all of these spaces, right? And so that's an example, but we're seeing also at entry-level positions, rather than just HR positions, you're having positions around employee onboarding, right? Or employee learning and development, or not just customer acquisition, but once we acquire a customer, who's in charge of their experience once we have them. Even in B2B organizations, thinking about, how are we thinking about like that relationship with vendors that we're supplying products to and thinking about the experience. So it's still a little bit of alphabet soup, so to speak. Yeah. But we're seeing more and more congruence around the fact that like we need people that think from an experience lens. Yeah. And even in the patient in healthcare, like patient experience is becoming more and more of a buzzword that like we need people to come in and think about what does the patient experience look like? Who's their advocate, and how do we design the experience, not just in terms of like the medicine that they need, but how it's delivered and how our rooms set up and the process that they navigate through our system.
Sounds like next level customer service and human resources.
Yeah.
Or human resources, customer service 2.0. Or
totally.
The way that's going as we evolve into a more
some of the folks that I know, like in employee experience, that are in the cutting edge in terms of consulting and work that they're doing, refer to it instead of human resources as human experience, right? And thinking from that perspective, which you think about a human resource versus a human experience, there's two different paradigms behind those approaches.